Welcome to Spark Week Day 4. Over the past 3 days, we've revealed 10 new ESAB products that were born to redefine power, productivity, and performance in the fabrication industry. If you've missed these world premieres, you can find them all at esab.com/SparkWeek. Yesterday was dedicated to cutting, with the launch of the new Cutmaster Plus line of portable plasma cutters, Thermodynamics Automation's UC Series high-precision plasma systems, and Vision T6, a touchscreen CNC controller that can do more on your production floor. If you're watching this live, don't forget to ask any questions in real time within the chat, and check the Spark Week website for all the goods on these new products and that special Spark Week giveaway. Today we're unveiling 3 more products. Our focus: simplicity, power, and protection. And it all starts right now. A decade ago, we introduced Warrior as a powerful, rugged, multi-process power source that could be easily used by anyone in the shop. And man, has it stood the test of time. Then a few years later, ESAB redefined the wire feeder category with Robust Feed that won us a Red Dot Design Award for its groundbreaking industrial design. Fast forward to earlier this week, when we talked about the digitization of fabrication with our InduSuite platform of software apps that's making it easier than ever to track production and amp up the efficiency and profitability of your shop. Today, we're bringing it all together, presenting a heavy industrial system that's engineered to give operators an edge. Introducing the Warrior Edge CX system. This is the Warrior Edge CX system, an easy-to-use, high-performing, and connected multi-process system with pulse capabilities for heavy industrial welding. This system offers a lot of advanced functions that every welder in your shop will be excited to get their hands on. The system is engineered for simplicity and equipped with the new Robust Feed Edge wire feeder and all-new Exior torch to set you up for high-quality welds and a productive workflow time and time again. I am here with the mastermind behind this new system. This is Arne Logfist. We've all heard of Warrior. We've all heard of the Robust Feed before. We've done lots of videos about that. But let's talk about how this system, the Robust Feed CX Edge, is different.
With the Warrior and Robust Feed systems, you have reliable, robust, and easy to use welding equipment, right? Now we have taken those things and applied them to new applications. So this is a really sophisticated pulse MIG welding system. And you can say that it's a reliable system, it's a connected system, and it's a system that allows regular welders to achieve really great welding results with ease of use.
For people who haven't seen this before, we're looking at power supply and feeder.
Exactly.
And what makes this combination new and different? So if we open it up, what do we see inside?
Yeah, so here you see an internal user interface, and this is to allow for easy configurations, but the normal setup would be that you insert your spool, you select your material, the wire dimension, the gas flow, and then you close the lid. And then on the front interface here, you have all the settings you need to use during the workday.
And when this is closed, this is a protected, robust unit that's designed to be in the field, right?
Absolutely. This is unique in the market when it comes to the protection against the environment. It's water protected from all directions.
So this is designed for, we have our power supply, this is basically what's powering our unit, and then the feeder goes onto the job site with the welder. How far away can these two items get from each other?
Yeah, so you can use a 200 feet cable in between the power source and the wire feeder.
So this can be safe out of the environment, and then this
Exactly.
can get down and dirty in the belly of the ship where you need to work.
Exactly.
Now let's talk a little bit about the torch, because you said it's a pulse MIG welding system, right? So
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about how that torch works with this whole package.
Okay, so here is the Exior torch, right? This is a new ergonomic torch that has a dual cooling system. And it comes in a water-cooled or a gas-cooled option. And this dual cooling system makes sure that not only the overall torch is cool, but also the swan neck, the contact tip, and the gas nozzle. So this helps improve the ergonomics as well as reduce the maintenance.
Yeah, because if you can keep that nozzle cool as well as the tip cool, it's going to lower the consumable cost, because keeping those cool is key to making them not burn out faster.
Exactly. Less replacement of the contact tips, and less often you need to clean the gas nozzle. You also have an integrated remote here that you can change in between the different jobs that you're doing or other parameters. There's also an integrated LED light here to help illuminate your work environment if you work in a dimly lit area.
This is heavy use, right? We're talking about working with thick materials, multi-pass.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Who's using this? Where are we going to see this in action? And how is this system going to benefit that end user?
Wow, there is a lot of applications, of course. I think that this is a perfect product for structural steel applications, different general fabrication needs. It's good for agriculture, yellow goods, transportation. You can use it in a shipyard, out at a construction site.
So you mentioned where this system's going to be used, but how is productivity going to change with this package?
Yeah, so with the Warrior Edge CX system, you have a lot of things that will help our customers improve their productivity. So to start off with, we have a really good pulse process that has a low spatter pulse process that eliminates post-work. We also have a special welding mode called Speed, which helps the weld operators to increase the travel speed while still maintaining control. And on top of that, we have this very easy-to-use hybrid user interface that we talked about earlier that helps decrease the time of learning the machine, set it up, and also improves the repeatability by not having welders do mistakes during the daily workday or during setup. We also have a good integration with the jobs that you have on the remote here, as well as on the front of the machine, that helps you stay within the welding procedures.
Now you mentioned the remote on the torch being able to basically remember different jobs. So you're able to program specific setups. So if I'm welding two different materials, I can have that just right up my thumb basically, right?
Yeah, or two different passes, exactly.
So you basically set it up for one, run your pass, and then you don't have to go back to the machine to reset it. It's just a memory system.
For sure, and it's very easy to set up.
You had mentioned with the water-cooled torch, and it cools all the way down to the nozzle as well as the tip, but let's talk a little bit about gas flow, because gas flow, when you're dealing with jobs this size, becomes an issue. So this machine is designed to optimize the gas flow as well, correct?
Yes, we have something called TrueFlow. And what TrueFlow does is that maybe we should open the machine. If you open up there, you can see here, you can very easily set up what flow you want to have. And once you set it up, the machine will make sure that is the flow that you will have. So even at the start of welding, when you normally have the big gas surge, it will completely eliminate that. During welding, it will maintain the correct gas flow. And if you would have any disturbance, for example, someone pulling the gas or you run out of gas in your bottle, the system will identify this and make a controlled stop to avoid having weld porosity and defects.
Because then you have to go back, fix that issue, clean it out, and then re-weld it.
Yeah.
And that's a huge issue because, as you said before, this can be 200 feet from our power supply, which also means it's 200 feet from our cylinder. So you're not going to be able to see that gauge from across the shop.
Exactly. And the good thing with this is that the gas control happens here. So no matter how long cables you have, you're close to the actual weld, and it will make sure that you have the right gas where you're welding.
So I'm setting the flow in the feeder,
yes,
not back at the regulator. So I don't have to calculate the drop over 150
not at
feet
all.
of hose.
You don't have to worry ever.
Once I set it up in here, it's good to go.
Yeah, you can plug it in anywhere and it will adapt. A good thing about these jobs is that you also, as we talked about the true flow, you can set up what flow of gas do you want on each specific job. So let's say that you have two different jobs, one with low parameters and one with high. Then you can have a lower gas flow for the low parameter job. And then when you switch jobs on the torch, it will also switch the gas flow.
So I saw you whip out a little magic golden credit card there. That's what locks down the machine. How is that working with this system?
Yeah, so as we saw before on the torch, you can switch in between the jobs. You can also switch the jobs here. And for each of these jobs, we have some settings with it and a setting range. And as an administrator, after swiping this card, this RFID card, I can set up the system and then lock it down. And then when the welder uses the machine, they will be able to change the wire feed speed, the voltage, and also the gas flow within the range that has been set up by the admin guy. But that means that you can stay within the welding procedures.
So you can have your supervisor pull the weld process order, know what the process are, and then set the machine to the max and minimum of that. And they don't have to worry about somebody moving outside those parameters.
Exactly, and it's super easy and quick to set up. This is one of the nice features that when you get the machine, you have the cards, it's just a few clicks to set it up and then you're ready to go.
All right, so let's talk about the integrated connectivity of this system.
Yes, so inside each Warrior Edge machine, you have an Internet of Things gateway that connects to the Weld Cloud applications running on the InduSuite platform. And also with each machine that you buy, you get a free of charge license to Weld Cloud Fleet to help manage your fleet of equipment, do planned maintenance, have software updates, and in general keep track of your fleet. And then you have productivity applications like Weld Cloud Productivity that helps you track arc time and optimize your productivity.
So this basically talks seamlessly to all the InduSuite's software backup behind it, allows everyone to keep track of, as we said before, keeps everything, keeps everything on track. So arc time for the torch, making sure you're following the WPOs and all that kind of stuff. So this talks to that system seamlessly.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Arne. This Warrior Edge CX system is definitely going to be a game changer for anyone who's dealing with large fleets of welders. It just seems to be like the perfect package for someone who's out there. You can pick up one of these now and outfit your fab shop or any type of shop that needs to have heavy-duty industrial equipment at your fingertips, and it can even talk to your computer. The Warrior Edge CX system is available now. Outfit your fleet with an intuitive multi-process system that's engineered for simplicity. If you've been paying attention to ESAB product launches the past few years, you'll notice they spend a lot of time making the life of the fabricator easier, especially with portable welders built to go anywhere and weld anything. But what if you just need a compact machine for the shop you don't need to carry from job to job? One that you can count on to get the job done whether you're a novice or a seasoned pro. Introducing Rustler Mig Pro. Rustler Mig Pro is a compact shop machine with inverter technology. It's been engineered to reduce energy consumption and setup time while still delivering the highest art quality in the industry. Rustler Mig Pro compact machines will come in a range of models that can deliver a max output of 350 amps at a 40% duty cycle. A smooth wire feed is delivered by a solid 4-drive roll feeding mechanism, and no big bad wolf can knock this house down with enhanced housing durability and an IP23 enclosure class. In a nutshell, Rustler is a durable, high-performing, easy-to-use MIG machine for anyone in your shop, from the greener welders to the seasoned vets. We are back with Bartosz Kutarba, and we're talking about the Rustler. Now, this MIG machine was basically designed with simplicity in mind for the end user. So let's talk about why is that important for a shop to have?
Correct. So the idea behind design was that it will be used by a really broad number of applications, and starting from the small workshops up to big fabrication shops. So versatility was a key for us. And the basic idea that machine should be easy to set up, because if there is like one user, he gets familiar with the machine and setups immediately. But if there is a number of welders that will be using that and they change over, you don't want to train people and lose time for learning how the machine set up.
So jump from welder to welder. It doesn't matter if it's in a shop with a bunch of different people working on it. They can jump in here and quickly set the machine and get to welding.
Correct.
One thing we've gotten used to with all the ESAB machines when they come out, they're always designed different now. We used to just see a welder, it was like a box, right? Metal box, one handle on the top. But ever since the Rebel, they've all looked different. So this one even looks different than anything else we've had. So let's talk about all the different design features that are in this, and I definitely want to talk about this little window on the side. But let's start with something else.
So everything we see was like done based on the VOC and experience of the users. That's why what you see here is the machine on wheels, so you can put your gas cylinder here and maneuver that easily on the workshop with those handles. And you do have that inspection window, which is a really nice feature. There's a light inside, so when you approach the machine, then you see immediately if there is still wire or not. And if you pull the machine, then this is the gun rest, so you finish your weld, you want to put your gun down somewhere, you don't want to have it touching because it will be most probably hot. Mm-hmm. This is the gun rest designed for that. And here you can wrap around the cables or put here the PPE, whatever you have, or hang here the extra stuff that you use in your day-to-day applications. So really helping to organize your work area.
Instead of just laying it on top of the machine like most people do?
This is very common.
So that would, instead of just laying on top of the machine, but then also you've got something else happening on the top here, right?
Right. It will be like a dedicated toolbox that you can close. You can arrange the space inside. If you have, let's say, a bunch of contact tips or nozzles, then you'll be able to store them in a really organized way.
And then also sealed, right? So
and
it
sealed,
stays clean.
And able to even lock that if you don't want anyone to access that while you're out.
I like the window because it's always unnerving when you go to start welding and you don't really know if you have wire or not. But you can simply just take a quick look and you'll be able to see. Not only, you can also tell what wire's in there. You'll know if someone's loaded with flux core since last time you used it, a quick glance and you'll be able to see. You don't have to always open the door.
Right.
So I think that's super cool. And then I like the toolbox because normally this is just where coffee goes in my shop. So having something else there will be nice.
You put your mobile and your daily stuff. So sometimes you don't want to get it dirty. You will be able to close it.
Perfect. So we've talked about multiple users and easy to set up. So that basically leads us right into, this is obviously designed with a lot of efficiency in mind. So why is that important on a welding platform like Rustler?
Correct. So it has been equipped with the latest inverter technology. So it does comply with the eco standards, which has been implemented in Europe now. So it means that it consumes the less energy. It's like with LED bulbs versus the standard one. So you pay just less for the electricity using that latest inverter technology.
So it not only is easy to use, it actually could be cheaper to run inside your shop.
Definitely much cheaper than the traditional power sources.
Looking at this machine, it looks like a pretty standard setup for a MIG machine. So let's talk about what wire goes through it, what can we run in it, and what else it does aside from MIG.
So typical compact MIG is a super universal tool. So here we equip the machine with special processes for carbon steel, stainless steel, aluminum, brazing, flux cord. You can select whatever type of base material you want, and the arc characteristic is optimized for that special application.
And that's done in?
And that's done inside here. So you can select base material and wire diameter to make sure that you have really optimized arc.
So I'm selecting that inside the panel, and then once I select that, then I'm moving to the outside just to fine tune it, correct?
Exactly.
And then you said this is not just a MIG welder, this is also a stick welder?
Yes, you can select the process here on the front of the machine. So you change from a stick, regular MIG, to the spot welding. So we've got 3 modes here built in.
So this is more than just a MIG welder, this is versatile as all get out, right?
Definitely more than just a standard MIG.
We've talked about the versatility of this and it being able to be used by multiple users, ease to set up. And when you get into that, sometimes we start dealing with advanced features, but there's a bunch of really good features built into this machine as well, right?
It is. So you can select inductance tailored to your specific application, but if you want to have, let's say, more specific arc for your preference, you can also adjust the burn back or the crater fill or the post flow of the gas. So all of those things that you might have, let's say, need to fine tune, they are here and they are easily accessible. If you're a more aware user, you can, really tailor that to the best arc you want. And then we have 5 memories with a direct access. Then you just click and store, and that's it. And then restoring is super easy.
So, perfect machine for a shop with a bunch of welders because when you have all those features, someone can go in and just like you said, fine tune that arc, and they could save it in that memory. And then when someone else wants to come up, they don't have to change all those settings. They can just grab their memory and go.
Exactly. That's why that direct access is very nice. You don't need to go inside the menu, search for that. You just can click, that's my memory, you do the job.
Thank you very much, Bartosz. Super good information on the Rustler. Keep an eye out for the Rustler arriving early 2023, the shop machine that is designed with you in mind. So we spent this week talking about what's new in welding equipment, filler metals, manual plasma, mech cutting, welding automation, software, you name it. But one thing we haven't touched on is gas control. Up next, we'd like to reveal 2 exciting new Victor products and shine a light on one of ESAB's newer brands that they acquired, Gas Control Equipment or GCE. Right now, we're going remote to Global Product and Business Director Kurt Roca, who's in the shop with Victor superfan and world-renowned metal artist, David Madera. Welcome, Kurt. Good to see you again, David. First of all, for anyone who's unfamiliar with Victor, let's fill everybody in.
Today, Victor is a global leader in gas control equipment, whether it's cutting, welding, heating, and oxy-fuel or air fuel systems. Victor's by far the global leader of these products and this gas equipment.
Victor is arguably the most powerful of the ESAB brands. Absolutely safe, reliable, the best equipment you'll ever find. For over 100 years, Victor is what you look to for safe, reliable, and long-lasting equipment. Kurt, that's a title they're never, ever gonna give up.
We're never going to give it up. We're always going to be the global leader, safest products, most reliable, most durable, longest lasting. There's no comparison. Second to none. Whether it's medium duty, light duty, heavy duty, it doesn't matter. Everything's built to take abuse. It's really built to be used, over and over, day in and day out.
No doubt, man, no doubt.
I hear you guys. I, as well, am a huge Victor fan. My shop is full of Victor regulators and torches, and I use them all the time. Victor's commitment to safety is second to none, as well as their quality and precision when it comes to using the equipment. It's kind of funny when you hear competitors refer to their equipment as Victor style when explaining it to the end user. So that is sort of an attestament to how great the brand is. But let's talk about this new Edge Phase 4.
The Edge Phase 4 is the latest in the extension of the Edge 2.0 family of regulators. So the previous models, the ESS 42 was the original design. Then we came out with an ESS 32, so that's like father, mother, and now we've got the siblings, which are basically special applications and functions type regulators that we call the Edge 2.0, and we're using the term Phase 4. So it is liquid cylinders, it's the pipeline regulators, the station regulators, the manifold regulators, the high flow regulators. It's really going to complete the family, as we say it, of Edge 2.0 regulators.
That sounds amazing. It certainly sounds like this regulator is going to become the top dog of the Edge family. But let's talk about durability, performance, consistency, and design.
So what we did is we didn't want to take anything away from the family, so we wanted to keep it consistent. We've gone with the same gauge housings, the intuitive gauges like you've seen on the previous models. We've taken this durable gauge housing and incorporated that into some of these other designs. We've also continued on with the SLAM technology like we've done with the Edge, the ESS 42 and the ESS 32. So we've incorporated, we didn't want to take anything out. We wanted to keep the family consistent. We want everybody to know that Edge 2.0 is Edge 2.0, and there's no way that you're going to be able to see any difference between the Edge, the new Phase 4 versus the previous models.
Let's talk about when is this going to be available?
This regulator, they will be out in the first quarter of 2023, and it's a radical change to what's going on out there with the station regulators, the pipeline regulators. It's completely different.
Kurt, I want to take it home right now. Come on, man.
I may gift one to you, but we'll have to see.
Let's talk about the next new Victor product, the HRF 2400 Pro. Kurt, give us the lowdown.
We've taken the 2400 series, which is globally known as one of the top flow meters in the business, and we wanted to do a couple of things to it. We wanted to improve the flow rates, so we've gone from 50 cubic feet per hour all the way up to 70 cubic feet per hour for welders. When they need that extra shielding gas coverage, they'll be able to do it with this new flow meter. We also improved the tube design, so most of the tube designs out there have been 20, 30-year-old designs. The scales are all the same. We changed the scales to be highly visible and then extremely accurate. So when somebody's looking at that flow tube, they can basically look at it and know exactly where they're set, what their flow rates are, and how that's going to perform for them. What we didn't do is take any of the quality machining out of it, so the needle valves, everything that we've done with the 2400, we continue to do with the 2400 Pro. So you'll have the best accuracy, the best visibility on the flow tubes. There's nothing out there that's going to be able to compete with it.
That's pretty impressive. That sounds like a lot of new information when we're talking about gas flow control. When is this unit going to be available?
This will be available in 2022, so you'll be getting that announcement. If you tune into the channel, you'll get that announcement sometime very soon.
Victor is a brand that we are very familiar with here in North America and in other parts of the world, but you may not have heard of GCE unless you're in Europe. So let's just start at square one and talk about what GCE is as a whole.
So GCE is called Gas Control Equipment. It's a century-old company just like Victor. It's been around and based out of Europe. We manufacture in several centers throughout Europe. What it's known for, just like Victor, safety, reliability, innovation, long-lasting equipment, and definitely performs superior to anything else out on the market.
This certainly sounds like it's going to be adding to the current gas control market in ESAB right now. So let's talk a little bit about what GCE is going to bring to the table and add to that roster.
Kurt, I'm not in the medical field. I'm a metal artist, but without a doubt, I know that that puppy is going to be exactly what they need in that field.
Exactly. So when we look at the products themselves, we'll start with healthcare. So GCE Healthcare, manufactured in Czech Republic, most of the high pressure regulators and flow meters. They incorporate some key features to the design. One is the anti-shock element. So if somebody opens up a cylinder incorrectly, they don't have to worry about the risk of having a regulator ignite on them. They also have rotating gauges and rotating outlets, so if the cylinder is out of position, they can rotate the gauges and the outlets to make it less cumbersome for the person that's handling it. Then you go into GCE Druva, which is HP&I or specialty gas. There are some key features to the specialty gas regulators, but we also have manifolds, we also have point of use regulators in the line. But one of the key features in the regulators is the Hastelloy diaphragm. So with the Hastelloy diaphragm, it allows you to run corrosive gases through the regulator. It'll withstand it better than stainless steel, and it's more durable than stainless steel. So you have a long-lasting diaphragm. It's very safe equipment. built to last, and in any of the laboratory applications that we're going to put that regulator into. But last and not least, let's talk about the valves. So we also have a line of cylinder valves, industrial cylinder valves, medical cylinder valves, HPNI or spec gas cylinder valves, and they come in standard design that you would see on normal cylinders, or we have what we call Vipers and RPVs. A Viper is basically a valve and a regulator integrated into one. So in one unit, you have a valve and a regulator built into one, so you don't need to have a regulator to put on to the cylinder valve, which is very nice. It's very convenient. The performance is great, and then, like I said, you don't have to worry about finding a regulator because it's right there connected to the valve. So the valve line is expanding. It's really going to change things in the valve market. So look forward to seeing that coming out. And then again, if you subscribe to the channel or you're on the channel, you'll see this coming out first and second quarter of 2023.
So I guess at this point you can turn to ESAB for any type of gas control for any industry pretty much around the world.
Ian, it's safe to say, just turn to ESAB for all your gas equipment, period.
Yeah, by bringing together two industry leaders in Victor and GCE, we're going to be able to do things that most companies can't do. ESAB is not only the first look, it's truly the only look when you're trying to control your gases from that source of supply all the way to where it's being used.
Mic drop.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, David. You know, you really can't pull any punches when you're dealing with gas control, and it sounds like ESAB has all of your bases covered. You can check out more information at ESAB's website to learn about anything Victor or GCE. This last product may surprise you, but it's one you're already familiar with. When it launched 5 years ago, it was unlike anything welders had seen before. It quickly became one of the best-selling, most talked about products in the industry. You know the name, Sentinel. It was and remains ahead of the game in style, comfort, and performance. And I don't know about you, but I won't pick up a torch without one on. But some of you wanted to see more. You said Sentinel's the best, but a bigger view would make it perfect. And when fabricators talk, ESAB listens. Introducing the next level Sentinel A60. This one I am super excited about because I wear a Sentinel on my head for a good 8 hours a day when I'm welding, and I absolutely love the helmet. But we have an all-new Sentinel. Kevin Beckerdite is here to talk to us. Let's talk about this helmet because there's a lot of changes here, right?
Yeah, there are. We've actually done a lot of work with this helmet. You know, it's been in the marketplace for several years, and throughout that time we've been listening to our customers, gathering feedback about what they love about the helmet, some things they'd like to see improved from both customers and non-customers, welders everywhere. And we've done a lot with this helmet. It doesn't show it just from looking at it quickly because we've retained the same shell, but we've done a lot of work with the ADF. So you'll see that it's got a much bigger ADF, and we've done a new interface.
One of the things that came up, because I noticed it in my shop, the touchscreen was great, but every time you wanted to change it, you had to deglove to make a change to the helmet, but you don't do that anymore, right?
That's right. So basically what we've done is we put a standard membrane switch in here, so and we've spaced the buttons far enough apart, so even if you're wearing a heavy MIG glove, you can make changes to the ADF very easily.
So we've talked about adjusting the ADF, but the ADF itself is also, it's bigger now, right?
It's a lot bigger. It's actually 40% bigger than the previous ADF that we were using in the Sentinel. And we've worked a lot on the coloration as you look through it. We're actually offering 1.1.1.1 optics and optical performance according to the EN 379 standard. But we've also worked a lot to improve the color of the ADF. So when you're looking through it, it's less taxing on the eye. We did get some feedback that some products out there can cause some eye strain. We're trying to alleviate that with this.
But you still have the multiple covered colors, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we're still offering the amber colored front visor as well as the clear. They both offer the same impact protection. It's just the amber gives you a little bit better contrast, if you will.
Yeah, I just mix it up. When I'm TIG welding, I'll use a clear, and when I'm MIG welding, I use a yellow. It's just a personal preference for me, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for, to choose your own, yeah.
So if someone has never tried a Sentinel hood before, what do they need to know about the A60? What makes it different?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the style is very unique unto itself. You won't find anything out there that looks quite like a Sentinel. It's got a nice, compact, round shape to it, and it's very well balanced on the head as you're wearing it. We use a micro-adjust, 5-point adjustable headgear on these helmets, so it's very, very user customizable in that regard, and it feels very good when you're wearing it.
I like the when it sounds silly, but when it's up. So the biggest thing for me when a Sentinel is when it's flipped up, because I'm always out of position underneath a car, inside a roll cage or something. And so I find that when they're up, they sit a lot lower than a traditional older style helmet that's kind of kicked up high. So you don't get horse collared when you're coming out from underneath something.
Yeah, it generally will just rotate up and over your head so it stays low and compact in that regard.
When are they going to be able to get their hands on one of these A60s?
These are going to be ready before the end of the year, just in time for the holiday season.
Perfect. And it's the perfect helmet for when you need to weld 8 to 5 and fight space aliens at 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it looks like that, and I love it.
I love it too.
All right, Kevin, I am super excited about this new Sentinel, but this isn't the only helmet news we're talking about, right? There's a whole new package of helmets that are coming to the market.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Actually, we've got a brand new set of helmets called the Swarm series.
I have one right
Bingo,
here.
there it is. This allows people who are new to welding to experience ADF for the first time.
So this helmet would be for our beginning welder, wants to get into that auto darkening, but still wants the technology that we'd find in this helmet over here.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, you can use this as you're starting into the profession. You can use this if you're welding part-time. It's fantastic for a variety of users.
It's like the gateway drug to get into the A60.
That's exactly how we think of it, yeah.
Perfect. What I think, in all honesty, what I use this helmet for is this helmet stays in the shop where it's nice and safe and protected and it has its own little spot on my workbench. But when I go in the field, that's where I would grab a helmet like this, because if I lose this or wreck this, I'm not gonna cry as much as if I lost or wrecked this helmet.
Yeah, it delivers high-end performance. It's a very lightweight helmet, compact, just like all of our other designs, and it will really improve your welding ability out in the field.
This one is the A30, but you mentioned there's a whole swarm of these helmets,
There's
right?
a swarm of these helmets. There are actually 3 variations of this shell. We offer the Swarm A10, which is a fixed shade 10 ADF helmet. The A20 and A30 both have variable 9 to 13 shade levels, and the 30 adds a true color ADF.
So this really is your gateway into this helmet.
really
Because you're going to
is,
work
yeah.
your way up through these and then eventually end up in
Yep.
a Sentinel.
Yep.
All right, so everyone's going to want to know, when are they going to be able to get their hands on one of these swarms?
Just like the Sentinel, they'll be able to get that before the end of the year.
So the smart decision would be to buy one of each.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would. You want to be the cool welder with 2 helmets. From pure simplicity to power to protection, we've seen a lot today. Warrior Edge CX system brings trackable productivity to your everyday welding without losing simplicity along the way. Rustler gives you the power you need in the shop without using a drop more. Sentinel and Swarm helmets provide the best optics and protection. And Victor and GCE are dominating the gas control space. That's a wrap on SparkWeek Day 4. Head to the SparkWeek website for that giveaway. Tomorrow's our last day, and we have only one reveal left. That's right, tomorrow we'll be unveiling a product so industry-changing, it's getting our sole attention. It's actually going to bring welding into a whole new age. See you back here tomorrow.